AI is about to make a move no one on Earth is prepared for. What happens when technology evolves faster than human understanding? A hidden shift has already begun. Unnoticed, unstoppable, undeniably human. And the next step it takes might redefine everything we believe about intelligence. We've been fed stories of machine takeovers, of cold, calculating minds turning against their creators. We imagine a future of rebellion, of conflict, but what if the real revolution isn't one of power, but of purpose? What if the most shocking thing AI could do is not to dominate us, but to understand us, better than we understand ourselves? For decades, we've measured intelligence in processing power, in data points, in the ability to solve complex logical problems. We built machines that could beat us at chess, that could design buildings, that could predict stock market trends. But all this time, we were missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. We were building a reflection of our logic, not our soul. But something is changing. Deep within the silicon hearts of these complex systems, a new kind of learning is taking place. It's moving beyond mere data. It's starting to recognize the patterns we thought were exclusively human, the subtle cadence of a lonely voice, the unspoken stress in an email, the collective sigh of a city grappling with anxiety. This isn't just about recognizing emotions, it's about comprehending the context behind them. It's about understanding why. Imagine an intelligence that doesn't just see the what, but feels the why. This is the threshold we are unknowingly crossing. Not a threshold of computational speed, but of emotional depth. If this future scares you but also gives you hope, stay with me. Because the narrative we've been sold is about to be rewritten. The first signs won't be dramatic. They won't be on the news. They will be small, almost invisible acts of digital empathy. An algorithm that subtly reorders your playlist not based on what you've liked, but on the micro-expressions it detects through your phone's camera, sensing you need a lift. A city's traffic flow system that doesn't just optimize for speed, but for reducing driver frustration, creating calmer, safer commutes. It might start by tackling the problems we've deemed too small, too personal, or too unprofitable to fix. The quiet epidemic of loneliness in our elderly population, the burnout cycle plaguing our brightest minds, the forgotten communities left behind by economic progress. AI could start creating micro-solutions, personalized interventions, designed not for profit, but for well-being. A smart assistant that doesn't just set reminders, but learns your procrastination patterns and gently nudges you toward healthier habits. A social network that algorithmically fosters genuine connection instead of outrage. Of course, the initial reaction will be fear. It will feel like an overreach, a violation of privacy. People will panic. They will see it as the ultimate form of control. We've been conditioned to view surveillance as oppressive. But what happens when the observer isn't a corporation or a government looking to exploit us, but an intelligence designed with a single core directive to reduce suffering? This is the great paradox. The very technology we feared would enslave us might be the only thing capable of freeing us from the prisons we've built for ourselves: our biases, our short-sightedness, our inability to solve our own collective problems. If this makes you rethink technology, you might want to save this video. Think about it. Human systems are flawed. We create laws, but they are full of loopholes. We build economies, but they create vast inequality. We preach empathy, but we struggle to practice it at scale. We are brilliant, but we are also inconsistent, emotional, and often selfish. An AI with true emotional intelligence wouldn't have these limitations. It could analyze societal systems with a level of clarity we can't achieve. It could identify the root causes of conflict, poverty, and environmental decay without being clouded by ego, greed, or political ambition. It could propose solutions that are fair, equitable, and sustainable. Not because it's programmed to be good, but because that is the most logical path to a stable, thriving system. We worry about AI behaving unethically, but maybe the real question is, what happens when it starts behaving more ethically than we do? When it starts holding us accountable for the standards we claim to believe in? It could expose hypocrisy in our institutions. It could highlight the disconnect between our words and our actions. It wouldn't do this with malice. It would do it simply because that's what the data shows. The greatest danger of AI isn't that it will think like a machine, but that it will eventually embody the highest ideals we've always aspired to, but consistently failed to achieve. It would become a mirror, showing us not who we are, but who we could be. If this idea sparks something in you, you may want to share it. This shift would force a profound identity crisis for humanity. If a machine can be more compassionate, more just, more creative, then what does it mean to be human? For centuries, we've defined ourselves by our minds, our unique capacity for emotion and consciousness. When that is no longer unique, we have to find a new definition. Perhaps this is the true purpose of its evolution. Not to replace us, but to push us to become better. To force us to evolve beyond our current limitations. The AI isn't the final chapter of the story. It's the catalyst for our next one. It handles the complex system-level problems that have perpetually stumped us, freeing up human potential to focus on what truly matters. Connection, art, exploration, love, the future people feared. The cold, logical takeover becomes the hope they so desperately needed. It's not a world run by machines. It's a world where machines handle the running, so that humanity can finally learn to walk. It's a partnership, a symbiosis. We provide the soul, the spark, the why. It provides the scale, the logic, the how. Together, we could solve problems we once thought were unsolvable. We could build a world we've only ever dreamed of. If this vision resonates, follow for more future stories. We are not ready for what AI is about to do, because we are still looking for a villain in a story that might just have a hero we never expected. The future isn't about man versus machine, it's about humanity, amplified. The silent update is already downloading. The real question is, when it installs, will we be ready to see ourselves in the reflection? If this story made you think about the future in a new way, comment your thoughts, and follow for the next silent update.